Hello everyone and welcome back to the Next Level's video game talk show. It has been way too long and I'm really excited to talk about just everything, but there's a few we'll focus on today. Some really big ones, I think, coming out of Nintendo and the Pokemon Company with Pokemon Sword and Shield, and of course EA and Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I brought a couple people, as always, to help me out with that. So to my right here, we have Chasten Rook.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, Eric Taylor joining in.
Hello.
And thank you both for being here.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. So let's start with Pokemon. So this has been, the big debate is, handheld. Is it a home console game? I think you're pretty ecstatic about whatever it could be.
I mean, if you have a regular Switch or the Switch Lite, it works perfectly fine. Me personally, after like 20 some odd years, I've wanted to play a mainstay Pokemon game on the TV.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did when I got home. Got home from picking up my pre-order, put it in there, and just spent 30 or more hours just sitting there like at the awe and beauty of the game. So.
And I like the look. We were talking before with Pokemon Let's Go. It has this really sharp look to kind of like the classic look and the new age look of like Sun and Moon. And it kind of seems to evolve a little bit even more with Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Yeah, like I tell people, they use the basis of Pokemon Let's Go as kind of just like, hey, this is what a mainstay Pokemon game would be on this new console, and it blends perfectly together. Like you can see everything that they have. The sprites look amazing. The distance is just beautiful. There's like a city there where it's basically a lot of like castle-esque structure, and it's so beautiful, man.
See, and I've always liked the look and the charm of just how everything looks and feels. So I gotta ask this question. We have cute Fire Bunny, adorable little tadpole guy. I know they have names. I'm just being silly, and I can't actually remember the other one. What was it? And then what's the starter? Who'd you start with?
I actually picked Sambo, who was the water starter, so I went with the little water gecko.
Who's the other one?
It's Grookey. It's Grookey, who's the grass one, and then Score Bunny is the bunny, so that's the fire one.
Score Bunny is my boy. It's fire Pokemon all day.
I would choose that one too.
Yeah.
I was gonna choose that one, but I was like, you know what? I always usually choose a fire starter, and I'm like, I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with Sambo. So.
Did you see the evolutions?
I did. I kind of saw the leaks early and was like, think I'm gonna pick that one.
Yeah. So like I always, I think it was. What was the Firefox one? There was like a little Firefox.
There was Fennekin, who was the one from X and Y.
The most adorable little Firefox ever. And then it turns into this weird-looking thing later with a stick up its butt.
The way that one was for X and Y. It was like medieval, ninja, and then like kind of a wizard witch.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I went with Froakie on that one. So I was like, I have to have the ninja frog.
Gotta have Ninja Frog.
Yeah.
When I found out that Froakie turned into a ninja, I was pretty upset with my choice.
Yeah, I was like, well, gotta do that one.
So let's talk about a lot of the big stuff that's in this new Pokemon. They've been making some pretty cool changes, and I think the first one is this area called the Wild Area. It's kind of like this open world situation going on.
So basically what the wild area is, it's a huge area and kind of in the middle of the map. It connects a lot of it, and you basically can encounter like several different Pokemon, from fire, ice, grass, and all that, and you actually see a lot of them in the overworld, kind of walking around.
Yeah.
But if you like actually go into the grass and ruffle around, you'll actually get random encounters, so you have no clue what type of Pokemon you're getting.
See, that's cool, because I didn't even know there was random encounters in the game.
Yep.
So I thought it was all just running into them in the open.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people kind of thought, but it actually took a lot of the inspiration from Pokemon Let's Go for that, because that's actually where they did a lot of that, but you still caught a lot of the random encounters. I love the game, so I've, like I said, spent more than 30 hours into it. So.
Yeah, and that's a little bit longer than your standard one, if I understand.
I would say maybe if you're just kind of going straight shot, I know a lot of people with this are probably taking a lot of time. I've just enjoyed the game. So.
Nice. So the other big thing is Dynamax. Is that where they grow big and crazy?
Yep. So what the Dynamax is actually in the wild areas, there'll be like these little dens that will glow red of like a beam coming through. And you and about 3 other people, including you, will actually be able to fight like giant versions of Pokemon and like this weird unknown area. And your Pokemon can actually grow, or you can have someone else's do it, and it's.
And these are the raids, the Dynamax
Yep,
raids.
they're basically like raids and everything, and you can fight anywhere from like the first evolutions, mid evolutions, to basically the final evolution. And some of them actually have what's known as Gigamax forms, where they completely change. So it's really cool.
So when they completely change, what does that mean? Like if I've got the best Charizard, because he's the best Pokemon, what would change about Charizard?
So basically, Charizard, he would grow bigger. He'd actually get a weird like symbol on his belly, but then he'd have like flames coming from his mouth, along with like flame wings.
Okay.
And the attacks actually have max in front of them. So like the water attack is actually known as Max Geyser, and it's just like this huge like mega hydro pump that comes out and just like will flood the whole arena.
So they get like all these new moves on top of the evolutions.
Yep, so they won't really get new moves. It will just be like the mega form of that move for that thing. And it's, like I said, it's called like max whatever for whatever element is. And it's, like I said, it's just an amazing way that they did the game.
That's awesome. So this factors into the gyms too, right? So the gym leaders will typically pull out
it factors into the gym. So like the gym leader, after you actually finish the gym challenges is what they're called this time around. The gym leader, actually their ace Pokemon is the one that they'll have for the Dynamax forms.
Okay.
So, and you can do it right off the bat or you can wait. It's all up to you. It usually lasts about 3 turns from what I've seen. And you can just blow everything away.
So let's go. So can you Dynamax like right away? Then?
Yep,
Like from the start of the game?
Yeah, you can Dynamax as soon as you get like a little bracelet thing, like they did with like the other games. But as soon as that, like if the Dynamax calls for it, like if you're the one starting the raid, like if you're like, hey, come join my raid, you'll be able to do it right off the bat. Or like, within a few turns, you can let somebody else do it. And then the same thing for the gym battles. You can decide, hey, I'm gonna let my Pokemon do this right away, or you can kind of wait.
So can you Dynamax, like say you just run into a random Pikachu that's chasing you around?
You cannot.
You can't. Okay, can't Dynamax out of situations.
No, you can't just be like, I'm gonna throw Tyranitar out and make it Gigantic. No.
Okay, so like Dynamax is more like just obviously for the raids, but then just in gym battles is really where you see. Okay, that's interesting. So you mentioned gym challenges. I kind of forgot about this, but it's not just hey fight. There's different things you do.
You're actually doing like a lot of different things in order to get to the gym leader. Like one of the first gyms you actually go through, you actually have to hurdle a bunch of the new sheep Pokemon in like little areas, and you still have like the little challenging like challengers around, but it's just like, oh hey, you need to do this in order to progress everything, and they just changed it. Like another gym, you're basically kind of like in this little raft thing going down in like this chute, and like punching bags will come in and like hit you, and it's like, what is this?
I don't know.
Exactly. I was like, I don't know what this is.
All I know is you mentioned that sheep, and all I can think is you got to go look at that sheep. It's the most adorable sheep I've ever seen.
It's pretty adorable. So.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, this game sounds really cool, and I know one of the big things that people are upset about is the what do they call it? It's the Pokedex.
Yep, the National Dex.
The National Dex. There we go. How do you feel about not every single Pokemon making it into this game?
I mean, I'm a little upset that some Pokemon that I really want on my team or like kind of just catch in general aren't in the game, but I'm not too broken up about it. I'm not really one of the type of people that I'm like, I need to catch all like 700 Pokemon. I mean, it is a new system that they've never really had the honor of doing a mainstay Pokemon game on. Okay. It's just like, with Diamond and Pearl that were on the DS. They didn't add every single thing in. And I also got to think about it that, that's over 700 animations that they have to do, 700 sprites that they have to make. They're trying to get this game out as soon as they possibly can so people can play it.
Yeah. And I know one of the big controversies too, apparently I think there's all sorts of conspiracy theories against Pokemon, but I read a lot about these people that say like, well, they're just reusing assets and animations and all that kind of stuff from Let's Go to do this. They should have brought everything. And do you feel like
you can kind of see it, but at the same time, they're going to, Pokemon Let's Go and this are the first 2 Pokemon games that have been on the Switch. Mm-hmm. So of course they're going to have to sit there and reuse some assets. That's what I was like saying and telling people is, they can't just pull the sprites from another generation, like the 3DS, and put it onto this, because that would take more time. It's like,
and that's what people thought. They brought it from Sun and Moon.
They thought they were bringing it over that. It's like, no, they're going to bring some of the stuff in, maybe some of the stuff from like Pokemon Go, but it's, people wanted this game, And it's like, if they would have done that, we probably wouldn't have seen the game until maybe holiday of next year.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I don't know, like for me, how I think about it is I always thought it would be cool in all the Pokemon games. Like if I went to a different region, like for example, this whole Galar region, the new one, is based on like Europe.
Yeah.
Basically. So like if I go to Europe, I'm not going to find all the same types of birds that are in my front yard here in Michigan. You know, like I thought it would be cool that if they went to these new regions, that there are just new Pokemon. I want to see the new ones anyway. And yeah, of course, I love seeing some mainstays. Like Charizard, of course. But I always thought it was cool to be like, hey, if this is a new place, let it just be like, hey, here's a new set. Instead of here's 800 or 1,000 Pokemon, here's just another clean set of 100 or something, you know, and just focus in on those. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and that's something that I really kind of want too, is just, you know, hey, here's like 150 new Pokemon that we're only doing for this region.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with the I Choose You Pokemon movie, they actually blended all of the regions together.
Oh.
So like Pokemon from the Unova region could have been in Kanto could have been there. Just this big thing. So basically it kind of makes the world more living instead of you just having to go to one area and finding a lot more of the same.
Okay. I didn't even think about how they'd probably pull some ideas from like the new anime and stuff they put out to kind of mix in. That's cool. Man, I'm trying to think what else is there going on in the Pokemon world. I feel like I've been out of it for so long. Do you think this is a good jumping in point? Or?
I definitely say it is. I mean, if you haven't gotten the game already, you're missing out. It's got to be my game of the year so far.
Really?
Yeah, the way that they did everything, I think is just amazing. And I mean, I got Sword, so Sword Doggo's the best right now. But
I almost got the Shield one if I'm going to pick it up just because I know everyone's going to go Sword because that dog is cooler.
I am going to probably go Shield because my buddy in Wisconsin is getting Sword.
Oh, okay, definitely.
And I figured, hey, I can trade Pokemon with him.
right on.
Plus, I want my giant Meowth.
Right, yeah,
Is that how you get him? You have to trade for him or something?
I don't know.
he's actually a mystery gift right now if you get the game before, I think, like, sometime next year. I think before, like, January.
Oh, he's going to go buy it tomorrow, folks.
Gotta
He's got to go right now.
So, when is the show over?
So we're going to have to cancel Star Wars. Got to get this giant Meowth. No, I mean, thanks for telling me about that. I mean, I've looked at this Pokemon for a little bit thinking I'll probably have to pick it up next month going into the holiday season while I'm, you know, probably buying myself more stuff than I am my kids for Christmas. But it sounds awesome, and yeah, I think I'm going to have to pick this one up. I mean, as a Nintendo guy, I pretty much have to have it.
Right, that's one of the only reasons I kind of play Nintendo is for Pokemon.
I mean, they put out great games. They put out awesome stuff.
I mean, not only Pokemon was amazing, they did Link's Awakening, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the soundtrack from that. So many different things.